One number on your paycheck can trap you for life. For millions of high performers, that number is $200,000. It's the salary that promises freedom but delivers a golden cage. You earn over $16,000 a month, but after the government, the mortgage, the car payment, and the student loans have taken their pound of flesh, you're left wondering where it all went. This feeling that you feel broke on a good salary isn't a personal failure. It's a trap, and you've been walking into it your entire career. The good news is, escaping that trap doesn't require more income. It requires a different perspective. One you can get from a simple one-page document I'll give you later. The evidence is undeniable. According to a 2025 study from Lending Club, 44% of Americans earning over $100,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. Think about that. Nearly half the people you consider successful are one bad Tuesday away from total financial collapse. This isn't about being broke, it's about being fragile. It means your entire life, the one you've worked so hard to build, is standing on a trapdoor, and your job is the only thing holding it shut. That's the real definition of the high earner, low net worth paradox. And it's a trap that ensnares millions of intelligent, successful people. Our promise here is to first diagnose exactly why this happens, and then deliver a clear, three-step framework to fix it permanently. We won't be talking about cutting out coffee or tracking every expense in a spreadsheet you'll abandon in a week. That's like trying to fix a cracked foundation with a new coat of paint. It addresses a symptom, not the source. The problem is deeper than that, but the solution is more systematic. And in about 4 minutes, I'll show you the simple mental model shift from thinking like an employee to thinking like an owner. A shift that requires zero extra income. The goal here isn't just information, it's to give you an actionable plan to change your financial trajectory, starting tonight. But first, you have to understand the invisible force that's been holding you back. It's not a lack of discipline. It's a psychological treadmill, a phenomenon that economists call hedonic adaptation. The simple translation is that as your income rises, your lifestyle expectations rise in perfect lockstep, leaving your net satisfaction, and more importantly, your net worth, exactly where it started. You just run faster to stay in the same place. Let me know in the comments, have you ever felt the lifestyle creep happen to you after a raise or a bonus? Consider this composite, based on thousands of stories shared in financial forums. A lawyer 5 years out of school. Her starting salary was $80,000. That first year, she hit $95,000 with a performance bonus. By year 3, she made partner track and cleared $130,000. Now, 5 years in, through sheer hard work and long nights, she's making $180,000. By all measures, she's a success. But her lifestyle inflated right alongside her income. That reliable Honda she drove through law school was replaced by a lease on a gleaming BMW. Her one-bedroom walk-up with the noisy radiator was swapped for a two-bedroom in a doorman building with a gym. Her weekend trips to the coast became 2-week holidays in Tuscany. She feels she's earned it. And she has. Her problem is, her savings rate is still 5%, just like it was when she made $80,000. Let's do the math on that. At $80,000, 5% was $4,000 a year. At $180,000, 5% is $9,000. On paper, she's saving more than double. But that extra $5,000 she's saving, it doesn't even exist. It was vaporized by the $400 a month jump in her car payment alone. Her net worth hasn't just stalled. After accounting for the car loan, it's likely negative. She's working twice as hard, carrying twice the stress, to be technically poorer than she was 5 years ago. She's the perfect example of why you can feel broke on a good salary. She isn't any freer because her entire identity is built on a lie. The lie is what we call the income identity. This is the core belief that a high salary is a justification for high spending. It's the voice that says, I worked this hard, I deserve this. Now you might be thinking, what's wrong with that? She does deserve it. And you're not wrong. The reward isn't the problem. The problem is when the only form of reward you recognize is immediate consumption. When the reward for a $10,000 bonus is a $10,000 watch, you haven't been rewarded. You've been taxed. What's the most ridiculous I deserve this purchase you've ever made or seen someone make? Share the story in the comments. You've paid a 100% tax on your own hard work, converting your freedom into a piece of metal that loses value the second you walk out of the store. This identity makes it psychologically painful to build wealth, because every dollar saved feels like a dollar of deserved reward being deprived. It reframes saving as a punishment, not an investment in your own freedom. This isn't just a hypothetical story, it's a statistical reality. According to debt.org, high-income households earning over $90,000 a year who carry credit card debt have the highest average balance of all income groups, a staggering $11,210. The evidence is clear. Discipline is irrelevant when your financial identity is programmed to spend what you earn. You're not fighting a spending problem, you're fighting a self-perception problem. And you don't fix your identity with a budget. You fix it by changing the game you're playing. Every high performer is taught to play the wrong game. You're taught to manage your financial life using one document, the income statement. This is your paycheck minus your expenses. It measures your monthly cash flow. But this document is a trap. It keeps you focused on what you earn and what you spend, locking you on the treadmill. The wealthy, by contrast, focus on a completely different document, the balance sheet. To help you see this clearly, we've built a simple personal balance sheet template. It's a one-page document designed to help you switch from an income mindset to a net worth mindset. The link is in the description. The balance sheet doesn't care about your monthly salary. It measures what you own, your assets, against what you owe, your liabilities. The final number is your net worth. Your salary measures the value your boss puts on your time. Your net worth measures the value you put on your freedom. One number keeps you employed, the other sets you free. Which document have you been focused on up until now? Your income statement or your balance sheet? Let me know in the comments. This isn't an opinion, it's the foundational finding from the decades of research by Thomas Stanley, author of The Millionaire Next Door. He discovered that self-made millionaires, the ones who build wealth without high salaries, are obsessive about one thing: tracking their net worth. They think like business owners, constantly managing their personal balance sheet. Their paycheck isn't a reward to be spent. It's simply capital to be deployed. It's a tool used to buy assets, things like stocks, real estate, or a piece of a business that generate more money. This is the core of the wealth identity. It redefines the purpose of money. It's not for spending, it's for buying freedom. The wealthiest people don't have more willpower, they have better systems. They focus on automating big wins, not policing small expenses. The latte factor is a distraction from the real work. The average personal saving rate in the US was just 4.4% in early 2025. That low number is the direct result of an income identity, where you save whatever is left over after you spend. A wealth identity flips the script entirely. You decide your savings rate first, and the system makes it happen automatically. It turns wealth building from a daily battle of willpower into a single act of design. This is the three-step mechanical system to turn that new identity into automatic, effortless behavior. This isn't about trying harder, it's about designing a better machine. The first step is to set your freedom rate. We're intentionally renaming the savings rate because its purpose isn't to deprive you, it's to buy your freedom. It's the percentage of your income that works for you, not for your landlord or your car company. Calculating it is simple. First, sum up all your monthly take-home pay. Second, track your spending for 1 month to get an honest baseline of your expenses. Third, subtract your total expenses from your total income to find your monthly savings. Finally, divide those monthly savings by your monthly take-home pay and multiply by 100. That number is your current freedom rate. Your only goal for now is to set a new target, even if it's just 1 or 2% higher than your current rate. We're building momentum, not demanding perfection. Step 2 is the most important action you'll take. Automate the wealth engine. Willpower is a finite resource that fails under stress. A system runs automatically, regardless of how you feel. The goal is to make building wealth the default, not a decision you have to make every single month. This process is mechanical. Log into your primary checking account's online portal, navigate to the Transfers or Payments section, and look for the option to set up an automatic or recurring transfer. Then, Set up a recurring monthly transfer from your checking account to a separate investment account, like a brokerage account or an IRA, which are simply accounts designed for buying assets like stocks. And the final critical detail: schedule this transfer to occur the day after you typically receive your paycheck. This ensures the money is moved to your wealth engine before you ever have a chance to spend it. This single, one-time action is more powerful than 1,000 budgeting spreadsheets because it replaces daily discipline with a single act of design. Step 3 is to redesign your environment to make wealth building the path of least resistance. High performers don't have more willpower, they simply build environments where they don't need to use it. This means systematically removing friction for good habits and adding friction for bad ones. For example, unsubscribe from the marketing emails of your 5 favorite brands. You can't be tempted by a sale you never see. Conversely, move your investment or net worth tracking app to your phone's home screen, replacing a social media app. This makes checking your progress the default behavior, not mindless scrolling. Adopt a one-in, one-out rule for non-essential purchases. If you buy a new pair of shoes, an old pair must be donated or sold. This forces you to confront the true cost of accumulation and short-circuits lifestyle creep before it starts. Of the 3 environmental changes, unsubscribing from emails, moving an app, or the one-in, one-out rule, which one are you going to try this week? Declare your choice in the comments below. If this framework for designing your wealth gives you clarity, subscribe to the channel. We release a new evidence-based wealth framework every week. So let's put this framework into action. Here is your exact 3-step plan to implement this week, starting tonight. First, you'll execute step 1 of the framework. Calculate your freedom rate. Spend 15 minutes tonight with your bank statements. Calculate your current savings rate, your true rate, not the one you wish it was. Then, set a new target. The goal isn't perfection, it's momentum. Make the target just 1% higher than your current rate. This isn't about a radical lifestyle change. It's about proving to yourself that the rate is under your control. Second, you'll implement the most important part of the system we just discussed: setting up one automated transfer. Log into your bank's website or app right now while this is fresh in your mind. Set up one recurring transfer from your checking account to your investment account for the day after your next paycheck. Don't overthink the amount, just start. This one action mechanically separates your wealth building from your willpower. It ensures your freedom is paid for first. Third, you'll begin redesigning your environment by cutting one lifestyle creep expense to build immediate momentum. Review your last credit card statement and find one subscription or recurring charge you no longer value. A streaming service you don't watch, a subscription box that's lost its novelty, a premium plan you could easily downgrade. Cancel it. The money saved is less important than the psychological win. It's a declaration that you're now in control of your financial environment. That $200,000 salary doesn't have to be a golden cage. It can be the key that unlocks it. But the difference between those two realities isn't a lottery ticket or a promotion. It's a single decision you make in the next 5 minutes. Of the 3 steps we just covered, only one matters tonight: automating your wealth engine. So open a new tab on your browser right now, log into your bank, and set up that one recurring transfer. Just one. Because your freedom isn't going to be won with 1,000 acts of discipline. It's going to be won with one act of design. The real question is, will you design it?